Started. Good morning. This is Wealth Principle 29. We've been going through the 52 wealth principles on our journey to build 100 millionaires. And we're discovering so many different facets about this business, about ourselves, and about where you come from, where you're going, and how we can get you to where we want you to go. And so maybe you came into the program saying, I don't know if I want to be a millionaire. I don't know if I want to be one of those 100 millionaires, one of that group, one of that posse that's going out there and changing the world, building and buying and retaining assets. But I know for sure I want to do better. I know for sure that I want to make sure that my life is better for the people around me, for the people that I'm a part of. And Wealth Principle 29 is one of those principles that really brings it home. It is all about you, right? This 100 millionaires is my personal goal. It's a goal that I was able to tie in together with Mike Shine, with Ron Bowling early on. And we all agreed that this was something worth moving towards. And your goal is 100% up to you. Wealth Principle 29 is own 100% of your results. And there's a book associated with this principle, just like every other principle. Mike Shine will be bringing it up in a little bit. But I want you to envision what it would be like to stop owning half your results, to stop owning the results of other people, and to start owning your results, 100% of your results for everything you've done, the good, the bad, the ugly, and really look at yourself and what you've accomplished in life and say, wow, this is 100% my fault. This is 100% thanks to me. 100% ownership on what you're doing, not just for the past 10 years, not just for the past 20 years, but for the next 10 minutes. For the next 10 days. Extreme ownership in the moment, 100% aware of what you're doing in every single moment. When you're in a training class, when you're reading a book, when you're making that big decision for your company, when you're treating your child to a conversation, when you're with your spouse, 100% ownership for everything that you do. What would your life look like? Just for a second, just imagine. You can see it. You can feel there's a little bit of difference from what you're doing right now to what that would look like. What causes that disparity? Why is there a difference?
It would be awesome.
Mike, 10X all the way. But this is going to have to stand for 100 millionaires. I haven't worked that out yet. Somehow I want it in there. So let's, Ron, let's start bringing everybody in. Let's pull everybody in. If you are on Facebook Live, you can join us in the Zoom so you can be more interactive. If you are coming into this call, yes, our 100 millionaires hang out with us a little bit earlier. These are everybody who's in the mentorship. You see all the screens up right now. This is somebody who has not only invested in themselves, they've invested in the mission of becoming one of the 100 millionaires. Some already are millionaires. And you don't have to raise your hand, but we're proud of you and we know who you are. You know who you are. Some of you already are millionaires. And so you're now giving back, helping the next level of millionaire get to the next stage. Because every level has another devil. There's the 100,000 mark. And the 100,000 mark, yes, you own it, right? Once you've hit it, it was difficult to get there. For me, that was the most difficult mark that I had. And then there's the 250,000 mark. And then there's the 500,000 mark. And then there's the full million mark. And they take typically about that long to go. There are steps. There's the 100, the quarter, the half, the mil. It's 3 to 5 years to become a millionaire. We agree that that's reasonable. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting because wherever I go, people think I started this way. They forget that I wrote a book about being broke. They think, what does this guy know about being broke? And I'll be honest. It's wow, Terry, that was loud.
Yeah.
If you could just breathe a little lower.
He's ready
Cleared
to
my
go.
throat. Sorry about that.
I assume you know what it's like to be broke at some point too. Just like the rest of us, we don't come into this world with wealth. And even if some wealth was handed to you and you've seen somebody who do well with wealth, look, to hold on to it is a whole deck of cards that not everybody has. And so for the few people who have been given wealth and they have held on to it and done very well, God bless them. They are the exception, not the rule. Most people in the circles that I hang around with, which is a lot of millionaires, most people will tell me that their children are not following the path of their business. Most people will tell me that their children they want nothing to do with their business. And in fact, 1 out of the 3 kids that they have, typically they do have 3 children. That's the number of millionaires' children. 1 out of the 3 is, I'd say, less than exciting when you look at their academic career. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like a reasonable estimate? These are facts. These are facts. And so even if one of your friends or an acquaintance or somebody who's doing well in your city came from other money, came from previous money, they still have to hold it all together because money's tricky. Well, it's not tricky. I guess it's like energy, right? Money is 100% like energy. And it's got this ability to come and go and flow very quickly. It can move away from you fast, but just as easily, it can flow to you quickly. And there is no difference between what direction it's going in. It's all your mindset and what you believe. You have to start taking 100% ownership for this thing up here. If you say, easy come, easy go, that's true. If you say, easy come, easy invest, that's true too. And it's all about what you say to yourself over and over that you start to believe. So we can all admit that we make money and it quickly disappears, or at least at some point in your past, it has come in fast, or it felt like it took a long time to come in. Anybody remember being paid weekly, waiting a whole week for a paycheck, and that paycheck would come in on Thursday or Friday, sometimes bi-weekly, and that was longer. And so some weeks were better than others. And then as soon as it came in, bam, bills paid, right? Does anybody remember saving one whole check for rent? That check was for rent. Boom, as soon as it came in, it was gone. Yes? And then the next week was all the other expenses, heat, electric. Well, the reason the money went out so fast is because you had a way to spend it. You already knew. You already knew what you were going to do with it when it got in. Does that make sense? Money flows easily. It goes both ways. If you already knew, and just visualize this for a moment, and for the most successful people I have seen, they speak like this and they say this, money is just flowing. They just, for the most successful people that I know, they say, dude, the rents are just coming in. They're just coming in. Or the clients, they're pounding down on the door. Like it's crazy. You know, we work hard to keep up, right? There's this so much out there, so much abundance that they know they're missing out on so much because it's just flowing through, and they're taking just what they can handle and what they know they can do the right way. It's a different mindset, yes? We can see how a mindset like that might create that, whereas a mindset of, I just have enough to get the bills by, money just comes in, flows out. So a lot of the principles of wealth are up here. We agree that every single wealth principle, I have not given you a hammer and said, go swing the hammer. Every single wealth principle I've said, hey, go work on this. Put this wealth principle into your business this week. You got 1 week to put this into your business. And then after that week, we're going on to the next wealth principle. Last week was wealth principle 28, love to deal with large amounts of money and the people who have it. And before that, it was steadiness of your faith. And that was in reference to your frame and where you're going in life, what you want to create for yourself. And before that, we talked about studying the people and businesses that are performing the way that you want your business to perform. These all sound like they wouldn't be connected to your business 100%, but I promise it's because they are so connected, so powerful, so strong that they will build a business that cannot be taken down. You've heard of building a house of cards? This is like taking the bricks and the glue and the nails and understanding 100% how everything interlocks, building from the foundation up slowly at a pace that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to send the roofer in when the foundation's still being dug. Everybody gets that analogy. And so building your business is the same way. And after 28 other principles, it's time to take 100% ownership over your entire business. Look back, we're a little over halfway through these weeks. Look back at everything you've accomplished. Look back at the weeks you took seriously and the weeks you didn't take seriously. Look at the principles that you applied and that you half-assed. Look at the principles that you just said, well, this one doesn't apply to me. Because I promise, they all apply. And to the level that you apply them, you'll see your success. To the level that you think, I can just skip this one principle, this isn't a big deal, you will see your success. You'll see your results. Looking back over the last 29 weeks, can you say that you've done absolutely everything that you could have done? Is there anybody on here who thinks they might have missed one or two things? Just little small details.
Yeah.
How about, would one of those little small details have made you an extra $100,000 if you just done it the right way? Just done it in the moment that week. Is it reasonable to say? Yes, for a few of us, maybe all of us. Yes. It's okay. I have, for my entire life, missed out on $100,000 extra every month, every week, every hour. I know it. The difference is sometimes I don't know what that thing is, and sometimes I do, and I choose to do the wrong thing. We agree that that's out there, that 100,000, that extra 100,000 is sitting out there. There are people who think in terms of millions. There's an extra million sitting out there for them. And there's an extra billion sitting out there for them. And they know it's out there, and either they go for it or they don't. But you got to know it's there. You can't ignore it anymore. You've got to take 100% ownership and say, there is $100,000 that I could be taking in, maybe in a different time frame, maybe a different dollar amount, maybe in a different piece. But it's up to you to make sure that you're owning your business 100%. Is there anybody on here who disagrees with that concept? Pretty sobering. So, I like exercises, and I don't mean the physical ones, although I've been known to lift a dumbbell here and there. Not as ambitious as Mike Shine right now, doing those push-ups, doing those jumping jacks. I look more like Mario. This is pretty good for me, a little shoulder strength. But let's do an exercise where we take some of that. We take just one of those things that you know, and it would have to be $100,000 idea. And it's okay if it's a week, a month, a year, however long. If you haven't earned that 100,000 yet, maybe it's just finish the year with that 100,000. If you haven't figured out how to make 100,000 in a month, maybe it's doing that. Maybe if you haven't consistently done 100,000 in a month. And I know for me, I can admit that I haven't consistently done 100,000 a month. I've had my $300,000 months. I consistently bang out a $40,000, $50,000 month, but I haven't consistently seen that $100,000 month. So that's what I'll be focusing on. Is it okay if I share what I'll be thinking about? Excellent. So think about what your next $100,000 interval could be. The easiest, absolutely easiest thing could be. And write it down. Write down what's that one thing that if you just did it, if you just applied it, if there's one thing that if you took 100% extreme ownership, 100% responsibility for your results, you could do to increase everything around you, just tweaking it, just making your systems better, just a little something that would improve your life to add that extra 100,000 to your business, to your life. You got about 20 seconds. Go ahead, write it down. One thing, just one thing. And we're talking about owning 100% of your results. 100%. Saying that you're putting into your life 100% of what you've got. Every day, every minute, every second. Whether it's with your kids, with your family, whether it's with the people you work with, whether it's with your colleagues, your mentors, the people you look up to, the people you look sideways at, and the people that you're pulling up to your level. 100% ownership, 100% your best. What you've got, what God gave you, all the energy, not just floating by, because energy is abundant. I'm telling you, if you start breathing a little faster right now, right? And this is an exercise in anxiety. If you start, go with me, go ahead. Breathe a little bit faster. Just increase the pace of your breathing. Increase it and then smile while you do it. And you get this crazy experience of excitement. Now, something dangerous to do while you're breathing heavily is to hold your head down like this. Try it. Go ahead. Breathing heavily and hold your head down, and it creates the most crazy depression. And so look back up, smile, breathe heavy, and look up. And instantly your mind goes to a better place. Does that make sense? Is that not a fun little trick? Just to know that at any moment, if you feel you're not giving your best to the person in front of you, you're not giving your best to yourself, to your business, to your community, to your city, to the people that are most important, that if we wrote it down, we agreed, these are the most important people in your life. If you feel at any point you're not giving your best, smile, increase your breathing. Your breathing's probably already there, right? If it's not, increase your breathing and smile. And look up and just remember who you actually are. The person who you really are, the person who was just writing down saying, I can do better. I can be better. I can be more for these people around me. Does that make sense? This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity in this wealth principle for you to look at your life, look at your business and say, what am I doing right? I'll do more of it. I'll be more consistent. And what am I doing wrong? You know, whether it's in your life, it's in your health, it's in your relationships, it's in your business. What could I improve? What if I just took this one little piece out and maybe I moved it over there, or I changed it, or I just eliminated it? What would my life look like? Would I be a better person? And if you can honestly say, yes, I would, today's a good day to take that piece out of your life, to remove it and get rid of it. And if there's something that you know is missing, today would be a good day to add something into your life, to say, yes, I'm ready to go and put this into my life. I'm committing to it, and we'll hold you accountable. Find somebody in this group, anybody. We'll hold you accountable to make sure that you are doing the thing that you said that you want to do. And can I get a show of hands? Everybody on here agrees that if somebody comes to them and says, I want to do this, I want to add this to my life, that you will say, yes, you can do it. And yes, I'll hold you accountable. Yes? It's a good community. Give yourselves a round of applause. I appreciate every one of you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this. There is a book of the week every week. Before we go further into the principle, I want to bring this book up. Mike Shine always runs our book of the week. The book of the week is Extreme Ownership, and it ties 100% into this principle. Go ahead, Mike. Tell us about the book.
So, book of the week is Extreme Ownership. And the subtitle is How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win. And the title says it all. These guys were actually in combat, Afghanistan. It's a little violent for me because all I'm doing is positive stuff these days. To hear about snipers killing and stuff like that was a little tough. But they took that and moved it to the business world. And like I said, the title says it all. Because in every relationship you have, if you take 100% ownership of that relationship, whether it's with your significant other or with a business partner, then you can never be disappointed because it's all you. And it sounds like it's obligation, but there's actually some liberation and some freedom from that, because if you're responsible for everything, you can fix everything. And so it's just such a great, even after I looked at it, I haven't read the whole thing, I'm halfway through it, but the title itself, if it's sitting on my nightstand and I say, oh, that's right, extreme ownership, just own everything, then nobody can mess up your plan because it's all you. So that is the book of the week.
Mike, thank you very much. Give Mike a round of applause. Mike does this for us every single week, takes the time to go through, and if he hasn't read the book, he starts reading the book. And when we originally set up the 52 Weeks to Wealth, I told Mike, Mike inspired me. He said, hey, we should put a book to every one of these wealth principles. This way, when somebody learns it, they can take it with them. They can really get deeper involved in this throughout the week. And then next week, they could jump into the next one. In my first book, Broke to $250,000, I mentioned how I read a book a week. And I challenge anybody who's ever read the book. In the book, I say it. Join me. Start reading a book a week. And after that, I started getting a lot of questions. What should I be reading? What are the books? What are the books? And so me and Mike decided, why don't we take the 52 wealth principles and apply a book that would match up with those? And so I created the blog, and I put that out on the blog. So you can now go and just look at What are the past books? What are the future books? What are the past lessons? What are the future lessons? And once I finish uploading a lot of these videos to YouTube, then these will all be out on YouTube and you can watch them at any point. You can go back and say, okay, I missed this wealth principle. That's when I really know touch my life better or move me to the next level. And so it's become it's just us owning our business 100%. How can we help people become wealthier? How can we help people become happier? And so it's been one of those things that's like, man, that was a good little block to put into the business. That makes sense. Sharing a little bit of information, sharing a little bit of knowledge with the people around you. It has, and I'm telling you, the better you are, the better your life gets. The better you do the things that you do well, the better your life gets. The more you care, the more you cut out the garbage. You just identify things that don't add value to you. And the more you spend time doing the things that really do add value to you and your family and your business, man, you can have a cool business. I have a friend who has 1,400 units and he's in Rhode Island, and he is voted, I think, 2 or 3 times in a row. He's the best company to work for in Rhode Island, voted consistently the best company to work for in Rhode Island. And it's such an honor to know him because he always talks about his business. He always talks about his people. Yep. Great community. We just take care of the people. We care about them. And it's one of those pieces that I model. And we have Aaron's on here. Aaron's a big proponent of Fall River. Give Aaron a round of applause for all the benefits that he gives to the city. Aaron, when I drive by one of your properties and I see the vinyl, I see the solar panels, I see the new windows, the paved driveways, the fences, my first thought is always, thank God he's in the city. Thank God Aaron's in here investing with us. So we appreciate you, man. Definitely doing a great job. And you can see he's got the city behind him. That's a beautiful picture. All right, I think I asked you who did that picture for you. Your phone is muted. Let me unmute you here.
Unmute. Yeah, I don't. It was a gift, so I don't know. I'll find out for you though.
All right, thank you, brother. Yeah, I definitely want to get one of those in my office. That's it's an inspiration just seeing the colors, the vibrance, and
the nice one with the basketball courts from Kennedy Park over there.
Nice. Do you know where you got that one?
No, it's the same place. I'll take you down there.
All right, sounds good.
You can keep talking. I'll just put the picture up over here when I get there. Okay.
All right. So Aaron runs a great company. He's in the city, and he could have at any time left. And what he does, he stays, and he builds a good company himself. Oh, nice. So I grew up down in the south end next to Kennedy Park. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Charles Street. Yeah, I used to own a property on Charles Street. Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you, brother. I love seeing you on these calls.
You got it.
And Aaron's one of those examples as well, right? He owns his life. He owns his, and if you ever talk to him about property management, and he has his team who keeps it in house. Who here wants to own more property? Like to own more property, manage more property? Yes. So when we talk about property management, every time I talk about any prospect, he says, I've got an amazing team. They tell me what to do. They tell me what they're doing. He says they know this company better than I do. They love the properties. They love the tenants, and they let me know what they're going to do. They don't ask for permission. They tell me what they're doing because they have extreme ownership. They own 100% of their results. They love Aaron, and they want to create something powerful for the community, right? He's painted a vision for them where what they're doing really improves the community, and you can see it. You can see if you go by any of his properties, and then you can see the people that he works with. Ryan Rigo doing the solar panels. Ryan's another great person who puts a lot of effort into what he does. And if you do that, and Ryan said this to me a long time ago, he said, man, you changed my life. You said this one thing to me that really tightened things up for me. And watching Ryan's success, I can't take any responsibility for it because he shows up every day. But what he was doing was he was doing real estate and he was doing solar sales. And I asked him one question. I said, which one do you like more? Which one do you think you're more in line with? And which one pays you better and you feel is more important for you to be doing? And he said, oh, solar all day. And I said, lose your license. Like, keep your license and send referrals out. Like, don't lose a stream of income. But dude, focus on this. If you believe in what you're doing, if you're good at it and it's your thing, because you could be successful in both. They both, have great returns, great businesses. But if you really enjoy what you're doing, man, you're going to be way more successful. And Ryan is probably one of the most successful people I know in solar. And Aaron, what was your experience when he worked with you? Obviously, he did those panels for you.
Oh, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's right on point.
And he's just a good guy. He really is.
Person, real good, genuine person.
And it's like, man, like I can't believe that we get to work with such great people. And you want to see great people like that succeed, right?
Yep, I do.
He
does real estate.
And yeah, he has his license. He has his license, but he put it to the side so he could pick up momentum in one thing, and he now dominates the area. Right? That's, if I see those signs, I know it's his company. You know? So extreme ownership it goes beyond just owning your mistakes. It goes into owning your results. I can be so proud of the friends I have, so proud of the other investors in this community, because I could see the good things that they're doing. In fact, I was in the conservation board meeting, and we got out of the conservation board, and that's something, who here also volunteers on a board or on a chair or something in your community? I strongly suggest it. You know, if you love the community you're in, get on any board, but something that you can contribute and give back, because a lot of the boards, they're older people who are just volunteering because nobody else will. Go ahead, Melissa.
Can you speak a little bit to that? Like, how does that work?
So I'm on the Conservation Commission, and the Conservation Commission, our job is to make sure that when people build a building, they're not eroding the land, or they're not, people don't end up with a house that floods, right? So we look at both sides. We want to make sure that the natural economy is taken care of, and we're respecting the wildlife. And we want to make sure that the homeowner that's going to come into this house later on has good drainage, right? We want to make sure that everything is done the right way so that they're never in danger of having a damaged property. And so we talk about things like the fill size and the quality of the fill and the drainage and the runoff. And it's been cool because I've gotten to see some really cool projects coming into the city, you know, new companies like Cumberland Farms, Walmart, like big companies coming in and doing things. And we are a little bit involved with making sure that they get through responsibly. And Walmart, by the way, is freaking fantastic. They hire a whole team to go out and evaluate everything. They take it more seriously than most companies. Go ahead, Terry. Or no? Okay. So when I was on the conservation board, I get out. Bitch, go ahead. Yes. It was going to be
take it a step back.
Yeah.
How did you become part of the conservation board? Was it something you had to apply for? Is it something you just say, hey, I want to do this? Did you have to get voted in?
Yeah, it's like the easiest thing in the world. They post that they have positions, and you just go and you say, yeah, I'd like to be on that. And if there's nobody else, I mean, they put you through. You got to pass ethics and a moral. You got to take a little test, a little thing.
Okay, so there is some screening at least. All right.
Oh yeah, you have to be moral and ethical. They give you the all of that training to make sure that you know like what you can do, can't do. Yeah.
You don't have to be too nervous about it, Mitch. You probably will pass.
You're a good guy. I think you'd be okay.
Hey, I had a Series 7 license. I can pass any background. I was just curious in the process. I mean, because a lot of people don't realize that you can do these things, and they might think they're underqualified or whatever it is. And it's just like, if you have a little bit of knowledge and essentially, you know, can pass, you know, a background check, in essence, you're good to go, and you can, you know, contribute to your community.
And that's one of the things that I see in not just Fall River, but all political arenas, is that some people who are not qualified get in often. And so if you become a chair member or a council or a board member, educate yourself. It's your responsibility to take yourself to the next level. When I jumped on the conservation board, it was the only board that was available. And so I understood development, I understood real estate, and I understood some things about wildlife, but I bought a couple of books. I went out, I studied, I got conservation books here in the house, and I went and I talked to the people in the city who have been on the boards for a long time and asked them to take me out on properties and show me what we're looking for. And so, yeah, I had to change who I was. I had to learn a little bit more, but you know me, I love learning. I love getting to that next level. How can one day the knowledge that I'm taking in today help me do something better tomorrow? And if I ever get involved in development in wetlands, look, I know how to do it now. Or if one of my friends has a question on how to do this, or one of our students, I have answers. And so, you know, I saw it as, it wasn't the board of my choice. I would have loved to be on the zoning board, right? But that would have, that would have caused so much conflict for me in my business. People would have thought I was getting a favoritism. So, you know, that would have been unfair almost. So it's not the right board to put me on. but the conservation board, I can contribute, I can give back. And yeah, it's very easy to get on if they're looking for something, if there's openings. And we do it. We have an opening on the conservation board right now. And if you're somebody who lives in Fall River and wants to volunteer, then there is an opening. You know, shoot me a text and I can send an email over to Patty, who works there, and say, hey, I've got somebody who would like to step up. We meet once a month and we just, you know, take a walk around the properties. And, you know, when like Jamie Duff is putting up a property, we go and we make sure that there's, you know, everything's done the right way. And if everything looks good, we stamp the approval, we bless them, and then they go on to zoning, they go on to the next boards. And, you know, you really do, you can allow good products to happen, and you can make sure that products that might be a little dangerous get cleaned up. You know, we don't stop anything. We just, you know, make sure they're done the right way. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah. You know, he's talking about conservation board, but there's all kinds of different things you can do in your community. And like Christine and I are part of our Chamber of Commerce, which is a local kind of thing. And it's a way for us to give back. And we got in there. And when we first started in there, we just noticed that nothing was really happening. And we decided that if we wanted something to happen the way we wanted it to, we had to actually step into it and make the suggestions and be a part of it at a higher level. And so we joined it as ambassadors. We stepped into an ambassador role, and now we do a lot of the movement of what it's doing, how's it happening, how the meetings are running. And so the more that you can take that extreme ownership and take over, not in a way that's dominating, but in a way that's being of the best support and the most service, because people want to have someone to follow. And without the leadership, there's a vacuum, and everybody just kind of goes around. We were talking about this in two different groups we're in, that we go in and their meeting groups are like, everybody's waiting for something to happen. And it can turn out to be an hour and a half of people just not doing anything. And so when you step in and you take that leadership role and say, okay, this is how we're going to do it, and this is what's happening, and get people on board with you, all of a sudden you give the whole entity new purpose.
Thank you, Terry. That's 100% accurate. And so the reason I tell the story about the conservation board is it came as a way of owning who I was, what I was building, and what we're capable of here in this community. If I could instantly put any one of you into every city council chair, every mayor position, every board member, commission, I know the city would be run better, because you would take extreme ownership. You'd take 100% responsibility for the actions and decisions. You'd mastermind together. You'd counsel each other. You'd go and study, and you'd find the person who has the answer. And so for my community, for my city here in Fall River, I know that there are some issues with our politics. We've seen them. Everybody, if you've ever seen us in the news, we understand there may have been or may still be some issues with our politics. We can no longer blame the politicians. We know it's our fault. We voted them in. And furthermore, it's the people who could have made a change, who could have done the right thing, who have the experience, who have the knowledge, who have the empathy, who have the desire to learn, grow, and be better people in the community. It's their responsibility to sign up, to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go volunteer and I'm going to do this. I'm going to put some of my time into the community and invest and reinvest in that manner. And I'll be honest, I stayed out of it for the longest time because I've not seen it go well for the people who jump in. If you've ever been around Fall River, New Bedford, you know that Fall River is a little slipperier slope than the other cities around us. It's easier to develop other cities. They get the approvals faster. And there is a little bit of blockage that happens here in the city. But I believe that with the right mindset, with people thinking in abundance, people thinking, you know, it's not all about one person winning. It's about this entire community becoming a better place to live, like Aaron does with his properties, making every area that we touch a better place for other people to live, a better place for other people to invest. And I can't wait to start buying property right next to what Aaron's already buying, because he raises the values. We raise the values. It's like this co-op of just, hey, let's make this a better place. And so more investors like you, every one of you in our community, is welcome. there's a saying out there where, oh, you're training competition. You're training people who are going to compete with you. No, I'm training people who are going to help me raise the value of our community. I'm training people who are going to help me raise the value of, we can now have better parks. I mean, we're building a hell of a school, which hopefully we actually get to use after COVID is done. But we can build better things for the kids, for the next generation. We can have more fun opportunities. We don't have to drive to Boston when we got Fall River right here. We don't have to drive and go to Providence when we have Fall River right here. There's a lot going on in your world, but I bet you could do a little more. There's a little more that you could do. You could be involved on a better level, on a higher level, 100%. You know what that is. Whatever that is in your life, there's something missing. If it wouldn't improve your life 100%, that's not the thing. It's the thing that would improve every aspect of your life, your business, your career, your community, your family, your city, your health. That's the thing, right? At this point in your life, every one of you is an adult. Every one of you has made some good decisions, some bad decisions, and that there's some things you could clean up. There's some things that would improve your life and make it better. And so that's what I'm encouraging you to do with this wealth principle. Just take 30 minutes, take an hour. Some of you are bold, take 4 hours, take a day to look at this wealth principle and write it down and say, what can I do that would actually improve every aspect of my life, and take 100% ownership and just breathe a little more, maybe breathe a little faster. I believe anxiety is actually just excitement, right? Terry teaches this all the time in his coachings, is that anxiety is your mind getting excited about something, and then that anxiety is going in the wrong direction, right? Instead of moving towards it and saying, yes, this is something I'm excited about. I want to take my life to the next level. This is an opportunity. I'm telling you, I get anxious every time I jump, right? Every time I go to buy a big building that's more than I've handled before, I get this little bit of, oh man. And then right after it, I get this sobering, oh shit, right? This like, oh man, and then, oh shit, like I'm responsible now. I've got to do this. Everybody who's ever bought a building knows that feeling, yes? I don't care how big or small that building was. Every time before, there's this heartbeat that says, man, my life's about to change. And then as soon as you close, your life is changed. And it's just this weight and this catching of what just changed, what are the differences. And then within a month, 2 months, 3 months, it's like the weight's gone. It's like the experience never happened. And you're convincing yourself that it was no big deal. Yes, we all know what that's like.
Well, the other thing about that really is our fear doesn't come from what's really happening. It comes from the story that we create and tell ourselves about what the physiological response is. And so when we start getting that nervous feeling, it's the same as excitement, but we start telling ourselves a story that it's fear. And then we look for the fear and look for all the problems instead of it's exciting and look for all the more opportunities. And when we can just go, oh, ego, oh, whoever, stop bothering me, and start focusing on all of the possibilities and all the positive things that are happening in whatever's going on, we stay in that track and we are able to continue to create and grow. It's only when we start listening to the, oh shit, that we start having problems.
Yeah, that's 100%. This is making sense. This is helping everybody. Is there a new revelation, maybe an old revelation, just something coming up and you're like, wow, that's real. Good. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that every week we get something new like this. Go ahead, Jill. You got a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say in the past, I've always shied away from getting involved with my community because I don't like drama. I don't, because people argue, they bicker, they get nitpicky and,
right.
and all that kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't want any part of that. So
right.
I do things on my own, but I've never been involved in the community stuff. But the way that you put it about, giving back to the community and being involved to help make it a better place, it kind of made me think in a different direction. So I think I'm going to have to go see what's on my local board to see what's available. I mean, I was thinking, in the other sense, that I know nothing about politics or my community politics.
They don't either.
Nobody does.
Yeah, no, That's probably a positive.
Okay. It's probably positive.
But so thank
I'm
you.
kidding.
I just wanted to say thank you.
So
Yeah,
I'd like to
absolutely.
just address
Terry.
that for a second. And the funny thing is when we focus on the idea that we don't like something, we actually find way more of it.
Right.
It's kind of like walking down the street and you're looking to not step in dog poop. You start seeing it all over. It really is. And so when we're getting into these situations where, oh my God, I hate drama, we're actually creating it when we say it.
Yeah.
And then we're looking for all of the places where the drama is, and oh my God, I don't want that drama. And we move into an avoidance kind of thing.
Right.
When we start looking at how we can add to the situation without taking away, and we start realizing that all of these people who are having drama and maybe they're expressing it in some kind of way that isn't great and we don't like it, I reframe it in my mind that they really care and they don't know how to talk about the situation. And so I just go in and start asking questions about what they really want and why they want it. And I position myself, and I'm going to be talking about this in our wholesale thing on Monday.
Yep.
But it's really about positioning yourself as a person who's going to actually help solve the problem, rather than the person who's getting locked up in this drama that's beating me up. Like, it just doesn't happen. And it's funny because I walk into all kinds of dramatic situations that aren't dramatic. They just, I don't see it. I see people that are scared and they don't know how to move forward. And so when we work with that and ask the questions, we can really find out where we want to go. And so it's a totally different way to look at it.
That is the truth. And thank you, Jill. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your understanding. And thank you, Terry, for the response. And it's true. To Jill's point and to Terry's point, drama is something that you expect and so you get. The only time drama exists when you're not around is when other people expect it. But I can guarantee you, and if you come into a room, if you come into a chaotic space with a calm mind, understanding in your mind that all of these people are just a little confused and that they're just a little bit stressed, but they actually all want the right thing. And if we could just communicate and de-escalate, everybody wants to be calm. Everybody always wants to be calm. Everybody wants to be in a comfortable state. And so you can control the room, you with your energy, by just accepting that and making the eye contact, smiling. Go ahead, Eustace. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of times it's up to you. It's drama. It may be drama, but you don't have to invite it in. You don't have to accept it. It's not yours. It's theirs. And the bottom line, like Terry said, it's the solution, not the arguments. And most times, if you look through the drama and you pick out the commonalities, that's how you get people to stop, bickering.
Yeah.
Is you find the common solution, because too much drama is personal. It's not business.
Yeah.
And so being able to sort through the personalities and all the things that are not on point helps you be the solution maker.
Absolutely. Give Eustace a round of applause, Terry a round of applause, Jill a round of applause. It's a valuable topic. And so if you believe that you'll attract drama in your life, stop it. Well, yes, but stop it, right? There's no more reason for that. You can now adjust and you can have just the most amazing pieces. And when I'm talking about framework, like we talked about last week with Faith, 2 weeks ago with Faith, and owning 100% of your results, tying these together, it's now your responsibility. It is your responsibility to make sure that you're always the calm, the collected, the ethical, the honest, the positive, the upbeat person in the room, because you have an influence over other people. You cannot control other people, but you can inspire others to feel better, to get to that next level, to be better themselves. And so it's up to you. It's your responsibility. And what you create, what you say often enough happens. I have said for months, for years, I have the greatest community. Everybody I know is an amazing person. I attract amazing people. I work with amazing people. I help amazing people. The people that I hang out with are absolutely amazing people who help and attract other great people. Good people know good people. It's one of my sayings. It's one of the things I've said for a long time. And I recently started saying I'm building 100 millionaires. And I can't stop saying it because I know it's true. So I got shirts. And so we built a website and we built a training company. And ever since that's been in my head, that's been my focus, people on the same path have showed up. People on the same path will show up in your life when you decide where you're going. And if you decide, I remember when I used to date, I would date this girl for a couple of minutes and she would say, oh yeah, my whole, everybody is so dramatic. I'd be like, oh shit, we're out. Peace. Have a great day. And they'd be like, oh, this one's dramatic. That one's dramatic. Oh, okay. More than 2 people in your life dramatic? I see the common denominator. I'm out. And move on quickly. If somebody says there's a lot of drama in their life, distance yourself. If you are that person, forgive yourself. It's okay, right? If you've ever said, oh, these people are just annoying, well, maybe that's just your perception of them. Maybe they could be better or you could be somewhere else. And it's okay to move. You're not a tree. Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, so just piggyback on what Walter's saying, you create your own reality, and you're creating, if there's drama in your life, you are creating that 100% ownership. And if you want to listen to some good YouTube, Esther Hicks or Abraham Hicks on YouTube, is just, she's so inspiring just to listen to. They're like 10 to 15 minutes long, and just get your mindset right there that it's all about what you're asking for in the world. I listened to one this morning. It's just awesome. So
I listen to them almost every day. They are amazing.
yeah. So
that's awesome.
That's
awesome. I love it.
Thanks, Joe.
And so we're a real estate community. Everybody in your hand to the camera. If real estate is something you're interested in, if you'd like to buy some stuff, if you'd like to flip some stuff, maybe sell some stuff, wholesale something, absolutely. So we're a real estate community. How does owning 100% of your results tie in? I'll tell you. If you haven't bought a piece of real estate in 2020, it's your fault. Jump on it. I don't care about credit. I don't care about whether you have the cash or not. I don't care if you don't have the right relationships. You're in this community. You have access to all of it. We have the money, we have the labor, and we have the opportunity to find the deals. And so if you haven't bought something this year, it's on you. And so take a second, acknowledge it, and then shoot us a message. Darina can put her contact information in the chat. She is looking to sign up anybody who is interested in jumping in the mentorship. If you have the desire, if you said, yes, at some point, I want to know how to get my real estate career to the next level, and you haven't signed up, now is an opportunity. Darina can put that in the chat as well. And so I would strongly encourage anybody who thinks that a coach or a team or a community moving towards building 100 millionaires would be the right thing in your life, come join us. Everybody who's already in the mentorship program, hands up. Graduates in it, working on it, hands to the camera. You guys are amazing. And I see the results, and I see partners. I see the opportunity to grow with more people in this community. And so for the people who have signed up, give yourselves a round of applause. Let's give them a round of applause. Pretty amazing people. I do the one-on-one personally, and in that one-on-one, I don't care how many months have gone by, I still remember the details we discussed, because I don't go one-on-one with too many people, right? My time is valuable. I'm retired. I am a multimillionaire, and I enjoy these group settings because I'm able to give back. I'm able to give something in a manner where you can receive, but it doesn't take too much of my time. The one-on-ones, I do one of them in the 8 weeks that we're together. I do one-on-one personally. And in that conversation, I learn a lot about you. I learn about who you are, where you're going, why you're doing what you're doing. And it's important to me to still have those. And as we continue to grow this program and we bring more people in, I will continue to do those one-on-ones as long as I possibly can. There may be a point where I shift and I adjust that for the sake of time. But what I've found in those one-on-ones is that everybody has a very common goal. You just want to do better. You agree that $1 million would help. You agree that it would help your family. It would get you to the next level. And we're a very unique community because to jump in, you said, yes, I'm down to make $1 million. I'm down to do it. And I'm not forcing you to do the $1 million, but I bet you if you learned how to make $1 million, you can make the 100,000 pretty easily. We agree? Yes. Here's the step. Is it okay if I sell the mentorship program? It'll take me about 30 seconds to sell it and probably about 5 minutes to brag about how awesome it is. Everybody agrees that's cool? And so if you were somebody who knows that you're capable of more, knows that $1 million, you would be ethical with it, that you would do the right thing with it, that you would improve your life with it, and not just your life, other people's lives with that $1 million, then I encourage you to join us because I agree. I think that there are some people who waste $1 million. I've seen Lamborghinis go by, and I don't think that that's really benefited the community. Although maybe it's inspired some people to get richer too. And so with $1 million, you could change things. It's an opportunity. With $1 million, you don't have to work anymore. You get some options. You could become a better person. I know when I first retired, I moved to Vegas and I just read a lot of books. I took a lot of coaching sessions. I had a lot of mentors. I learned hypnosis. I learned NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and stage. And there was a lot of pieces that I learned so I could push my mission further forward, which was helping people remove the blocks in their lives. And I met people like Terry. I met Doug. I met Mitch Durfee and Mitch Jorsky and some really, really cool people. I got to meet Tom Ferry. I got to meet Gary Vee and Les Brown. And some of these people I've shaken hands with and had the richer they were, the shorter the conversation. But I've had some really great conversations with that inspired me. In a couple of words, somebody can inspire you. Just a couple of words, because those words come from experience. They come from knowledge. And so the mentorship is designed to give you that ability to do that for other people, right? Building My 100 Millionaires is just about helping you learn to go build 100 millionaires. It's not for everybody. This is an ambitious goal, and it could be a lifelong goal like mine, because I retired at 30. And I was a multimillionaire by 32. No, I was a millionaire by 32 and a multimillionaire by 34. And so at 34, almost going on 35, it's time for significance. It's time to give back. It's time to do something that really improves the world that we're in. And I want to do it on a bigger way, but it takes people. It takes people who are educated and who have some experience in order to get there. And some of the coaches that we have in our program are people who came through the program first, or the people who I was in other programs with that we all agree that we're going to improve the world, we're going to make it a better place by teaching people how to take money out of the issue, by teaching people how to take money out of the argument. My family ended up divorced. My parents ended up divorced over money. That was the problem. They were a great couple, great people, and money always was the issue. And it put a fire in me like you wouldn't believe. As a kid, seeing the arguments, seeing the fights, my parents are amazing people. They really are. They raised me well, beautiful souls. I love them both. But man, those arguments, they filled me with, this feeling, and maybe you've experienced it at some point. I never want to not have options. I never want to see my family fight over something like this. I never want other people to have to experience what I'm experiencing right now, right? That anxiety, that I can't help, I can't do anything. I don't understand what is money. What is this thing? And so that's what fueled and keeps fueling me beyond the money. People ask, how much is enough? Well, if there's bigger people for me to help, then I have to keep helping, right? And I can only help based on what I've accomplished. There are multimillionaires who have issues. There are multimillionaires who could build their life a little bit better and build their business a little more ethically and a little more morally. But I can't give them advice until I'm there. There are decamillionaires who could require some help. There are billionaires who could require a little bit of guidance, just a little more ethics. And so until I've hit that level, I can't teach that topic. Does that make sense? And that's my own personal belief system. There are gurus out there who did one wholesale deal and now they're the wholesale professional. There are gurus out there who did one flip deal or read a flip book and decided to write a whole training program, right, Mike? There are people out there who talk about rental property as if they own a lot of rental property. Look, I'll be honest with you. I own 57 units. At one point, I managed 87 units. I owned a property management company for a while, and I did not enjoy property management. So now I pay somebody to manage my units. That's what I'll teach you. And I've acquired 42 units before, sold them all down to 12 units, and now Ron and I are on our way back to 57 units. And at the end of, 2 weeks from now, we'll have our full 57 units. And so I know what it's like to sell off. I know what it's like to jump back in at the height of the market, right? I sold off in 2018 and bought back in 2019 and 2020. So I'm buying at the same time you're buying. Does that make sense? So at the end of the day, this mentorship, the reason it costs $1,000 is to disqualify people who are not serious. The money is not as important as the people who are dedicated. The dedication is what I'm charging for. It's just a qualifier. It's like when you want to join the Olympics, look, can you swim? Well, if you can't swim, come back, right? We're looking to get you faster in the pool, not teach you how to get in the pool. Does that make sense? And so I can teach somebody anything. If you come to me with a topic that I don't understand, I can read the books. I've read over 300 books, and I started coaching somebody who had a hair salon. I read 5 books in a week, all the books on the topic on how to improve a hair salon, increase sales, how to hire the right people. I read those 5 books, texted them, this is where I see your company, this is where you need to go, did a coaching call. And she said, oh my God, are you sure? I was like, yeah, no, this is industry specific. This is your business. So yeah, but you're the real estate guy. And I said, look, this stack of books, I were on a video call. I was like, read these. Have you read these? And she said, no. I was like, start with this book and move your way through. And to the degree that you're willing to learn, you can be successful, but it's this that has to change. It's not the skill set that you learn. It's not the technical that you learn, because I don't swing the hammer, but I know that my products are done right. I don't install the floors. Sometimes I don't even see the building, but I know that the building is going to be managed the right way. I know that the product's going to be done the right way. When I was an agent, physically doing the work, now we have a team, and Dorena runs the team, and all the agents are doing a fantastic job handling our investors, handling our listings. When I was an agent, I used to go see a house for the first time, drop a lockbox on it, and never see the house again. And I would trust other agents to sell that property for me. And so, and I didn't do inspections. I didn't do the paperwork, because I was pulling out of the business. And now I run a team. I don't even know what properties they're showing people. Does that make sense? So you can be as involved and as devolved in your business and your company as you want. But as long as you feel happy doing what you're doing, it's the right thing, right? We're here for a short period of time. And if you see an opportunity that could get you to the next level, take it. Take action on it. If you know that this mentorship program is what would take you to the next level, cool. I want more friends. I'm looking to hang out with the right people. We're looking to have great parties. Mike Shine, we got a party coming up, right? Is it the 21st or the 22nd?
Is it not? Yeah, sorry, I was having trouble. Yeah, so Melissa Darling has a woman who's going to introduce us to a bunch of wine. And because I like all the vegan stuff, I said, let's get vegan food as catered for it. So we're working on it. Going to do it up in Weymouth at Melissa's place. And yeah, so it's going to be fun. So RSVP, let us know if you're going to come. I'll put my phone number here. You just text me. But next Saturday around, what do you think, Melissa? Around 4 o'clock, or is that?
I think that works.
Okay.
That sounds good.
So.
Excellent. So Mike Shine is our holistic attorney. He's not only the guardian of the books, he is also the holistic attorney and our resident vegan. I know a bunch of people in our community are also vegan, and we respect that, and we have fun not eating meat when we're together. And we've all watched the videos. We've all watched the movies now. So we're making a conscious decision as we jump into this. But Mike Shine and Melissa have been awesome to give us a little party. Every quarter we do something like this. Mike started it. He likes to get everybody together. So everybody in the mentorship program is invited. Come hang out with us. And if you sign up for the mentorship program, I'm not promising this, but there might be some wine on August 22nd, thanks to Melissa and her connection. So, and that really is, it's one of those things that I didn't know about this community, right? I knew we used to do live events and we bring everybody together and it was fun. And, you know, people were paying for training. Some people were in it for free. Some people were coaching, and we were bringing everybody together, and we were, you know, having good conversations afterwards. We were putting deals together. We were talking, and I thought all I had to do was answer questions from the stage, and then I'd jump off and I'd done my job. Well, it always seems like after I get off, there's 10, 20, 1,000 more questions to be asked. It's like, the stage isn't the best place to ask me. Does anybody know what that's like to decide, you know, I'm going to ask him a question after he gets off? Anybody ever think that? So one of the weird things about being on Zoom is I don't get as much of those one-on-one questions. My phone number is always available. You can text me anytime or send me a message on Facebook anytime. I'm always available. But one of the things that I've noticed is that some people just want that 30 seconds. Just, hey, this is my thing. Throw it down, have that conversation. So when we did the party at Mike's last time, it was a great opportunity just to, like, some of the people I've never seen in my life. Anthony Walker, Chris Hayward, and then people that I don't get to see as often as I'd like to, like Mitch. You know, Mitch flew up from Florida to hang out with us. And
we all found out he's really, really tall.
I had no clue.
I all found out y'all really, really short.
I like to say that in Fall River, I'm of the average height. So
Galta's personality is much larger than his statue.
I didn't lie.
I'm gonna move the camera down like low so I look like taller. Like, well, you know, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Mitch Jaworski of of the group.
It's all about doing big things.
So these live events, they're fun. You know, we don't do them as often, but the fun, like, get together. We played volleyball last time. We got to eat some vegan donuts. We had vegan hot dogs, vegan sausages, and it was a good experience.
Meat burgers, crushing it.
Meat burgers,
Beyond
vegan buns, Beyond Meat,
vegan donuts.
So let's give Mike and Melissa a round of applause for putting this on, and for last time putting it on. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah,
this community is more than just, hey, let's go learn a little bit. It's also, let's put some deals together. Let's get some friends. Who here has friends they've met from
Melissa, I'll make my bean dip.
nice.
There you go. No meat, Jill.
Her
And no dairy.
So good.
Excellent. With that said, let's open it to questions. What questions do you have? Real estate related or mindset related. We can talk about